you want me to play?
This is Diane, who I just met, and she has dulcimers, and I just thought she was so interesting. I wanted to share her with you and have her teach you about dulcimers and the history and how your ancestors may have played this instrument. So take it away, Diane.
I'm Diane Gravelin, and this is called the Appalachian or fretted dulcimer. It has its roots in a German folk instrument, medieval folk instrument called a scheithold, and it came into the Appalachian Mountains with the German settlers, and it did a metamorphosis essentially. It was shaped like this originally. It was a horizontal looking instrument. The fret arrangement is diatonically fretted and not chromatic, and it has 3 strings. It's tuned in modes. There's 7. There's 7 different modes. I'm tuned in what's called the Mixolydian mode, and so the relationship of the notes are D, A, D, and so I'm tuned in D major. And the instrument sounds like...
Tell me, you were saying that the frets are also the original Greek order or something?
Yes, right. The original, the arrangement of the frets was invented by the Greeks. And this was the original type of modal music that was played up until around the late 1300s, early 1400s. And so the Mixolydian mode that I'm playing in was too happy, and it was not being able to be played in church. And you couldn't play it in church.
Well, I was going to ask you, who would play it? Poor people, rich people, entertainers?
This was a folk instrument. It was a street instrument, essentially. And it was played by the commoners. In France, it was used as a dance instrument, and I'll play you a French dance.
Oh.
And in Germany, it was played essentially in the streets. This is in the zither family. So, and because it's modally tuned, you have a whole space, and a half space. So you have like the white keys of your piano, but no sharps or flats. And you can tune into different tunings and put more strings on, and then you can get more notes.
Oh, interesting.
But basically, it's a diatonically fretted zither.
And it has made its way to the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
Kind of has a folksy American look and feel to it as well.
Well, it did, and then when it came into the mountains in Appalachia, and you pronounce Appalachia,
I said it wrong.
Little gimmick. I'm going to throw an Appalachia,
Oh.
so you can remember it's not Appalachian, it's Appalachia.
I stand corrected.
There you go. So yeah, it had it was played in the streets. It was a folk musician's instrument, and in Hungary there was it was called the there was like a cithra, and it was also a zither fretted instrument. In Sweden and Norway, in Sweden it's called the hummel, and it has a course of strings on it where they're just played drones.
Oh.
But this one here I'm playing on.
Well, let's hear it.
And this is Old Joe Clark. It's a round dance, and there's a lot of different, there's like 100 verses to Old Joe Clark.
You know what I love about that instrument is you can just lay it on your lap. You know, it's a little lightweight, and it seems like it would just be something that you could stick in your knapsack and off you go in the mountains. And
that's right.
Yeah,
it's a very versatile instrument, but it has its limits in a lot of, you know, because you can't get sharps or flats on it. You can retune, but it has some limitations to it. but it's a fabulous instrument because you can play on the melody string and have the rest open in drums.
I like that.
Or you can chord it and play with chords. So you could play like your 3-3-5 here. So you can get different voices on it too.
And what got you interested in this originally?
Well, I've been doing folk music most of my life. I grew up in Connecticut, and I was introduced to a lot of different music, but I always wanted to learn to play an instrument, and this was very easy, and I learned from Jeannie Ritchie. She came here to Encinitas and played one time.
Oh.
And I told my husband, I said, I think I can play this. And sure enough, he bought me one. That was 17 years ago.
Oh.
And so now I teach and I do kids programs, and I try and pass the music on because it is a folk tradition. And music is a universal language, and kids love it, and people can do it easily. There's been people that have come by the booth here that said, gee, I could do that, and sure enough they did. And when it was raining and downpouring, I had 2 little girls here that were learning, and they actually picked out little folk tunes that they knew, and they were so excited that they could like do Mary Had a Little Lamb just on the melody string.
That's great. Well, thank you for your time. Is there a website where people can go to learn more about the instrument or about what you do?
I think if they just Google mountain dulcimer, fretted dulcimer, or Appalachian dulcimer, they'll find quite a bit of history on it. It's got a really rich, and it's a truly American folk instrument that grew out of a German
I love
medieval
it.
instrument.
Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.